How hungry are you to succeed? Lesson 1. The strangest secret in the world. There exists a secret so powerful yet so simple that when you truly understand it, your life will never be the same again. I've shared this secret with thousands of people around the world, and those who apply it consistently find that their lives transform in ways they once thought impossible. Here's the secret. We become what we think about most of the time. This truth is not new. It has been taught by the great thinkers throughout history. Marcus Aurelius said, "A man's life is what his thoughts make of it." The Bible tells us, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." Ralph Waldo Emerson wrote, "A man is what he thinks about all day long." Your mind works exactly like a garden. Whatever you plant in it will grow. Plant thoughts of success, happiness, and abundance, and that's what you'll harvest. Plant thoughts of fear, failure, and lack, and those too will grow just as surely. Most men and women drift through life without ever realizing this tremendous power they possess. They wake up each morning, go to jobs they don't enjoy, come home tired, watch television, and then repeat the cycle the next day. All the while, they wonder why their lives don't improve. The reason is simple. They haven't decided what they want from life. They're like ships without rudders, blown about by every wind and current. Is it any wonder they rarely reach a worthwhile destination? The successful people I've known have one thing in common. They made clear decisions about what they wanted from life, and they thought about these goals every day until they became reality. This isn't magic or wishful thinking. It's the practical application of a natural law as real as gravity. Your conscious mind is the gardener and your thoughts are the seeds. Whatever you plant and nurture will grow. I'd like you to try something I call the 30-day test. First, decide on one goal that would dramatically improve your life if you achieved it. Maybe it's a career advancement, a financial target, or a personal milestone. Write this goal on a small card. For the next 30 days, read this card every morning when you wake up and every night before you go to sleep. As you read it, picture this goal as already accomplished. Feel the emotions you would feel upon reaching it. See the details in your mind's eye. During these 30 days, don't listen to negative or discouraging voices, including your own. Feed your mind with books and conversations that support your goal. And most importantly, take action each day that moves you closer to what you want. The results may surprise you. Many people report that opportunities seem to appear from nowhere. Others find solutions to problems that had stumped them for years. Some experience a new sense of energy and purpose that transforms how they approach each day. Remember, the thoughts you hold in your mind are shaping your destiny at this very moment. Are they thoughts of what you want or what you fear? Are they directing you toward success or away from failure? You have the power to choose your thoughts. And in that choice lies the strangest, most wonderful secret in the world. You become what you think about most of the time. Lesson 2. The magic of a clear goal. Few things in life are more pitiful than a person drifting through the years without direction, without purpose, without a clear destination in mind. Yet, this is precisely how most people live. They're like ships without rudders, tossed about by the winds of circumstance, never arriving at any harbor of their own choosing. My friends, you cannot hit a target you cannot see. The magic of a clear goal is that it focuses the remarkable power of your mind. Nature has given us minds of such incredible capacity that most of us use only a small fraction of their potential throughout our entire lives. But when you harness this power with a clear, specific goal, magnificent things begin to happen. Goals turn the invisible into the visible. They transform dreams into reality. They give substance to our hopes. When you know exactly what you want, your mind immediately begins to work, day and night, to achieve it. Without this clarity, your mind has no focus, and so its vast powers are wasted. Picture for a moment two people setting out on a journey. The first says, "I want to go someplace nice." The second says, "I'm going to Chicago, to the Drake Hotel. I'll arrive by 6 p.m. next Tuesday." Which person do you think will reach their destination? Of course, it's the one with the clear, specific goal. Your mind needs a destination to work toward. When you give it one, it begins to notice opportunities that were always there but remained invisible to you before. It starts to solve problems creatively. It draws to you the people, circumstances, and resources you need. Vague wishes produce vague results. I want to be successful is not a goal. It's merely a wish. I want to earn $75,000 this year by selling 25 units per month of our premium product is a goal. It's specific. It's measurable. Your mind can grab hold of it and begin working to make it happen. I've found in my many years of studying successful people that they all share this common trait. They know exactly what they want. They can describe their goals in vivid detail. The more clearly they can see their goals in their mind's eye, the more rapidly these goals materialize in the physical world. This isn't magic or mysticism. It's simply how the human mind functions. Your reticular activating system, that wonderful mechanism in your brain, begins to notice opportunities that align with your goals. Things that were always there suddenly become visible to you. So I ask you, what do you want? Not what do your parents want for you, or your spouse, or your friends. What do you want in your career, in your finances, in your health, in your relationships? In your health, in your relationships? Most people have never seriously asked themselves these questions. They've never taken the time to get clear about what success means to them. Today, decide to get crystal clear about what you want. Write it down in specific terms. Read it every morning and every evening. Feel the emotions of having already achieved it. This simple practice will magnetize your mind to bring you what you desire. The magic of a clear goal is that it sets in motion forces in your favor that otherwise remain dormant. Lesson 3. The acres of diamonds within you. Have you ever noticed how human beings tend to look everywhere else for their fortune, while standing directly on the treasure they seek? This curious behavior has repeated itself throughout history, and I'd like to share with you one of my favorite illustrations of this principle. There once was a farmer who sold his farm to travel far and wide in search of diamonds. He spent years wandering distant lands, growing increasingly poor and desperate, until finally, in despair, he threw himself into the sea. Meanwhile, the man who purchased his farm, one day, noticed an unusual stone in the stream that ran through the property. That stone turned out to be one of the largest diamonds ever discovered. The farm the original owner had abandoned was filled with acres of diamonds. This story contains one of life's greatest lessons. The opportunities you seek are often right where you are. The treasure you desire is frequently within your grasp already. Most people make the mistake of looking outside themselves for success while completely ignoring their own talents and abilities. They dream of some magical opportunity that will transform their lives, all while overlooking the remarkable gifts they already possessed. Your unique abilities are your greatest assets. No one else in the world has your exact combination of talents, experiences, insights, and perspectives. This uniqueness is not a limitation. It's your competitive advantage in a world hungry for authenticity. Have you taken stock of your personal acres of diamonds lately? What skills have you developed over the years? What knowledge have you accumulated? What connections have you made? What connections have you made? What experiences have shaped your understanding of the world? These are the raw materials of your success. Remember this truth. The grass isn't greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it. When you invest in developing your natural talents and abilities, they flourish and grow in value. Think about Thomas Edison. He didn't search for opportunities in distant lands. He looked within himself, at his curiosity and persistence, and changed the world from his laboratory. Think about Grandma Moses, who didn't begin painting until her late 70s, yet found remarkable success by simply expressing her unique vision. Your opportunity isn't out there somewhere. It's right where you are, waiting to be recognized and developed. The question isn't whether you have acres of diamonds. You do. The question is whether you're willing to mine them. Take time today to dig into the rich soil of your own abilities. Cultivate your talents with the same enthusiasm you'd have if you discovered actual diamonds in your backyard. Because in terms of creating a successful life, that's precisely what they are. The world doesn't need more people trying to be like everyone else. It needs you to be authentically, powerfully yourself. That's where your true fortune lies. Lesson 4. The power of your mental attitude. I've discovered something remarkable in my years of studying successful people. Your mental attitude is like the throttle on an airplane. It determines how high you'll fly in life. This isn't mere positive thinking. It's a fundamental law that governs human achievement. Picture two people facing the exact same challenge. One sees a troublesome obstacle while the other sees an exciting opportunity. Which one do you think succeeds? The difference isn't in their circumstances, but in how they think about those circumstances, Problems are simply opportunities dressed in work clothes, waiting for someone with the right attitude to unwrap them. The most successful people I've encountered share this uncommon perspective. They understand that while life doesn't always give us what we want, it invariably gives us what our dominant thoughts expect. Your attitude is the paintbrush that colors every experience you have. Consider this truth. You cannot control what happens to you, but you have absolute control over how you respond. This response, your attitude, determines the outcome far more than the initial event. When faced with disappointment, the achiever asks, "What can I learn from this?" While others merely complain about their bad luck. I've watched people with every advantage fail because of poor attitudes, while others with tremendous obstacles succeeded through sheer mental fortitude. A positive mental attitude doesn't guarantee success, but a negative one almost certainly guarantees failure. It's like trying to drive a car with the emergency brake engaged. You might move forward, but you'll never reach your potential. Your attitude shapes how others respond to you as well. People are naturally drawn to those who radiate confidence and optimism. They want to help, work with, and support people who approach life with enthusiasm. This creates a powerful cycle. A positive attitude leads to positive responses from others, which reinforces your positive attitude. The wonderful news is that your attitude is entirely within your control. Unlike your height, your family background, or economic conditions, your mental attitude is something you choose every single morning when you wake up. It's a decision that shapes everything that follows. Start small. When problems arise, train yourself to say, "That's good." Then look for the benefit hidden within the challenge. Watch how this shifts your perspective and opens doors you never noticed before. Attitude isn't something you're born with. It's something you build one thought at a time. Like exercising a muscle, your attitude grows stronger with daily practice. The challenges you face aren't meant to defeat you. They're meant to reveal your true potential. How high do you want to fly? Your attitude determines your altitude. Choose a powerful, positive perspective, and you'll discover that the sky is no longer the limit. It's just the beginning. Lesson 5. The hour that can change your life. I'd like to share with you an extraordinary secret, one that has transformed the lives of countless successful men and women throughout history. This secret is so simple that it's often overlooked, yet so powerful that it can completely reshape your destiny. It concerns how you use your spare time. Those precious free hours that most people fritter away without a second thought. Consider this truth. What you do with your leisure time is what ultimately determines your future. 1 hour of focused, dedicated learning each day will make you an expert in virtually any field within just 5 years. Think about that. In the time most people spend watching television shows, they'll soon forget. You could be developing mastery that will set you apart from the crowd. The successful people I've known throughout my life share this common trait. They invest their spare time rather than merely spending it. While the average person collapses on the couch after work, remote in hand, seeking escape, the achiever reaches for a book, takes an online course, or practices a valuable skill. This single difference in habit creates an ever-widening gap between mediocrity and excellence. Small daily improvements lead to stunning, long-term results. This is the miracle of compound interest applied to your personal development. Just as a small sum of money grows dramatically when interest compounds over decades, your knowledge and skills multiply exponentially when you add to them consistently. I've often told the story of the stonecutter who hammers away at a rock, perhaps 100 times without seeing a crack. Then, on the 101st blow, the rock splits in two. Was it that final blow that did it? No. It was all the blows that came before. Your hour of daily improvement works the same way. You may not see dramatic changes day by day, but over time, the transformation will be remarkable. The tragedy is that most people never realize this truth. They waste those golden hours on mindless entertainment and trivial distractions. They surrender their potential greatness for temporary comfort. Don't make this costly mistake. I challenge you to carve out 1 hour each day, your magic hour, and dedicate it to improvement. Read books in your field. Take courses. Practice your craft. Solve problems. Build your network. Do something, anything, that moves you closer to your goals. This single habit, maintained with discipline, will put you on a trajectory that few ever experience. Remember, life doesn't pay for what you know, it pays for what you do with what you know. Your magic hour is where you develop the knowledge and skills that you can convert into value for others. And in this world, your rewards will always be proportional to the value you create. How will you spend your hours today? The choice is yours, but so are the consequences. Choose wisely, for in that decision lies the difference between an ordinary life and an extraordinary one. Lesson 6. Why most people fail. Have you ever wondered why, with all the opportunities that surround us, so many people fall short of success? This question has occupied my mind for many years as I've observed thousands of men and women start with hope in their hearts only to abandon their dreams along the way. The truth is both simple and profound. Most people fail, not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they stop trying too soon. They stand at the edge of their breakthrough and turn back, never knowing how close they were to striking gold. Like the prospector who, after digging for years, sold his claim in frustration, only for the new owner to discover a rich vein just 3 feet beyond where the original miner had stopped digging. The second great cause of failure is the powerful pull of conformity. Look around you, and you'll see that most people are desperately trying to be like everyone else. They dress the same, think the same, and dream the same modest dreams. But success, real success, requires that you march to the beat of your own drum. The herd mentality has never produced excellence. Every great achievement in human history came from someone who dared to break from the crowd and think differently. Then there's the paralyzing fear of criticism. How many wonderful ideas have died because someone worried what others might say? I've watched grown men and women abandon noble pursuits simply because they couldn't bear the thought of being laughed at or questioned. Remember this. Criticism is the price paid for being remarkable. When you step out of the shadows of mediocrity, you automatically become a target for those who remain comfortable in their familiar darkness. Another reason for failure is the unwillingness to pay the price for success. Many people want the rewards without the sacrifice. They desire the mansion on the hill, but complain about the stones they must carry to build it. Success demands its price in advance, in sweat, in persistence, in dedication, long before it pays you back in achievement. Perhaps the most tragic cause of failure is misunderstanding the nature of success itself. Many believe success is a destination they'll someday reach, like a train pulling into a station. But success is not a place you arrive at. It's a way of traveling. It's found in the daily habits, the moment. By moment choices, the consistent application of your best efforts toward worthy goals. What separates winners from the rest is not some mysterious talent or luck. It's their hunger, their burning desire that refuses to accept defeat as final or obstacles as permanent. When you're truly hungry for success, setbacks become stepping stones. Rejections become redirections. Problems become possibilities. Tonight, consider the areas where you've stopped short of success. Where have you given up too soon? Where have you allowed conformity to dim your unique light? Where has fear of criticism silenced your authentic voice? Identify these barriers honestly, and you'll have taken the first step toward breaking through them. For when you understand why most people fail, you've already begun to separate yourself from the crowd. Lesson 7. The power of serving others. Have you ever noticed how the most successful people in history were not those obsessed with their own gain, but rather those who found ways to serve others in extraordinary ways? This is no accident. It is one of the fundamental laws of success. The road to achievement is paved with service to others. The marketplace rewards problem solvers, not problem makers. Look at every great fortune, every successful enterprise, and you'll find at its core a simple truth. Someone found a way to make life better, easier, or more enjoyable for others. Let me share a simple truth that has transformed countless lives. Your income, your influence, and your impact are directly proportional to the number of problems you solve, and the number of people you serve. The wider your service, the greater your rewards. Too many people approach life with their hand out, asking, "What can I get?" The successful few ask instead, "What can I give? How can I be of service? What problems can I solve?" This shift in thinking changes everything. Consider the humble farmer who harvests his crops. He doesn't grow corn or wheat for himself alone. He grows enough to feed hundreds or thousands. His reward is in proportion to the value he creates for others. The same principle applies whether you're a teacher, doctor, business owner, or employee. Think about it. Henry Ford became wealthy, not by demanding money, but by solving the problem of affordable transportation for millions. Mother Teresa gained worldwide influence not by seeking power, but by serving the poorest of the poor with uncommon devotion. The beautiful truth is that when you focus on serving others, your own needs are met almost automatically. It's as if the universe has designed a perfect system where those who contribute the most receive the most in return. But here's where many go wrong. They serve reluctantly, minimally, or with constant calculation of what they'll receive in return. True service, the kind that leads to uncommon success, comes from a genuine desire to add value to other people's lives. Start looking at your work differently. Whether you're flipping burgers, designing buildings, or running a corporation, ask yourself, how can I serve more people more effectively today? The answer to that question holds the key to your advancement. Remember this. We live in an abundant universe with no limits on success. By helping others get what they want, you will automatically get what you want. The more you give, the more you'll receive. The more problems you solve, the more valuable you become. Today, make this your mission. Look for ways to serve others more completely. Go the extra mile. Solve problems others ignore. Do more than you're paid for. This path, the path of service, leads not just to material rewards, but to something far more precious, the satisfaction of a life well lived and a contribution that matters. How hungry are you to succeed? Then ask yourself, how eager am I to serve? Lesson 8, the uncommon decision to succeed. The difference between the person who succeeds and the one who doesn't is as simple as it is profound. It's a decision, a real decision, not a wish, not a hope, not a maybe someday dream, but a firm, unshakable commitment that says, this I will do no matter what. Most folks drift through life never making this uncommon decision. They dabble, they try, they hope, they hope, they wish. But they never plant their flag in the ground and declare, here I stand. I've studied successful people for decades, and I can tell you with absolute certainty that every one of them reached a moment where they drew a line in the sand. On one side was the person they had been. On the other was the person they were determined to become. Now this decision carries a price tag. You can't decide to succeed while also deciding to watch television 6 hours a day. You can't decide to build a thriving business while refusing to learn about sales or marketing. The decision to succeed means saying yes to certain activities and no to others. Let me share something remarkable with you. The very moment you make this uncommon decision, something changes inside you. Your mind begins to notice opportunities that were always there but previously invisible to you. Your energy shifts. Your conversations change. The universe seems to begin conspiring in your favor. But here's the catch. Making this decision once isn't enough. You must remake it daily, sometimes hourly. When obstacles appear, and they surely will, you must look them straight in the eye and say, you don't decide my future. I do. I remember speaking with a young salesman who was struggling to meet his quotas. He had all the training and product knowledge he needed, but something was missing. I asked him a simple question. Have you decided to succeed, or are you still hoping to succeed, or are you still hoping to succeed? His eyes widened as the distinction became clear to him. 6 months later, he was the top producer in his company. The decision to succeed requires courage because it eliminates all escape routes. The bridges back to mediocrity get burned. There's no plan B, and that's precisely why it works. When your only option is forward, you find resources within yourself you never knew existed. Make no mistake, this isn't positive thinking or wishful dreaming. This is a fundamental shift in how you approach your life and work. It's about standing firm when others quit. It's about doing the work when no one is watching. It's about holding yourself to a higher standard than anyone else would require of you. So I ask you, with all the sincerity I can muster, have you truly decided to succeed? Not hoped, not wished, not wanted, but decided with every fiber of your being. If not, today can be your turning point. Right now, in this moment, you can make the uncommon decision that will set you apart from the crowd and put you firmly on the path to extraordinary achievement. The decision is yours and yours alone. Choose wisely. Lesson 9. The courage to begin where you are. You know, friends, I've met thousands of people in my lifetime who are waiting for the perfect moment, waiting until they have more knowledge, waiting until they have more money, waiting until the children are grown, waiting until retirement, just waiting. But here's the truth that successful people understand. There is magic, tremendous magic, in simply beginning. The great journey of success doesn't require you to take a giant leap forward. It only asks that you take one step, right now. Right where you are, with whatever you have. Consider the mighty oak tree. It doesn't begin as a 40-foot giant. It begins as a small acorn that simply starts growing with what it has. It doesn't worry about not being tall enough yet. It simply begins. I remember talking with a gentleman who had built a manufacturing empire. He told me, Earl, when I started, all I had was $217 and an idea written on the back of a napkin. But that was enough to begin. Today, his company employs over 2,000 people. The secret is this. Success isn't about your current circumstances. It's about your willingness to start from wherever you are. Think about this. Thomas Edison had only 3 months of formal education. Henry Ford didn't finish high school. Abraham Lincoln studied by candlelight. They all started from humble beginnings. What separates the achiever from the dreamer is the courage to begin. The dreamer says, "Someday I'll write that book." The achiever writes the first page today. You see, starting creates momentum, and momentum is the great secret of achievement. Once you begin moving, it becomes easier to keep moving. Many years ago, I met a woman who wanted to become a registered nurse. She was 42 years old with 3 children. "I'll be 46 by the time I finish nursing school," she told me with hesitation in her voice. I asked her, "And how old will you be in 4 years if you don't go to nursing school?" That simple question changed her perspective. She enrolled the next week. Today, she supervises an entire hospital wing and has helped thousands of patients. Your current position may not be ideal. You may not have all the resources you think you need. But I promise you this, you have enough to begin. And beginning is the hardest part. Take inventory of what you have right now. What knowledge, skills, relationships, and resources are available to you at this moment. These are your starting materials. They are your starting materials. They are enough. Remember this powerful truth. The conditions will never be perfect. The timing will never be just right. The only perfect time to begin is now. So I challenge you, what one step can you take today toward your dream? It doesn't need to be spectacular. It just needs to be a beginning. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And the journey to your success begins with the courage to start exactly where you are. Lesson 10. The quiet power of persistence. I've discovered something interesting in my years of observing successful people. The quality that separates the winners from the also-rans isn't intelligence, talent, or luck. It's persistence, plain and simple persistence. Think about water for a moment. Water appears soft and yielding, yet over time it can cut through solid rock, forming magnificent canyons and reshaping entire landscapes. That's the quiet power of persistence at work. Most people quit just when they're about to achieve success. They give up at the first sign of defeat. They knock at the door of opportunity, and when no one answers right away, they walk away. What they don't realize is that success was just on the other side, waiting for one more knock. Edison failed more than 10,000 times before perfecting the electric light bulb. When asked how it felt to fail so many times, he famously replied, "I didn't fail 10,000 times. I successfully found 10,000 ways that will not work." That's the mindset of persistence. Let me tell you about a shoe salesman I once knew. Every morning he'd set out with his sample case to make cold calls at businesses around town. For 6 months he knocked on doors and faced rejection after rejection after rejection. His colleagues quit and moved on to other jobs, but this man kept going. He refined his approach. He studied his potential customers. He persisted when everyone else gave up. By the end of the year, he was the top salesman in his company. What made the difference? He understood that persistence is more powerful than force. Like water, he found ways around obstacles rather than trying to smash through them. Here's something I want you to remember. Success is not a sudden event. It's the accumulated result of persistent effort. Think of a bamboo plant. For the first 5 years after planting, you see almost no visible growth, but the plant is developing an extensive root system underground. Then, in the 5th year, the bamboo can grow up to 90 feet in just 6 weeks. Was that sudden growth the miracle, or was it the patient, persistent development of roots during those seemingly inactive years? The truth is, most overnight successes took years in the making. The persistent work was happening all along, unseen by most observers. When you face obstacles, and you will, remember that persistence is your greatest ally. Don't let temporary setbacks derail your journey. The only true failure is to stop trying. The world steps aside for the person who knows where they're going and keeps moving toward that destination with persistent determination. Be that person. When others quit, keep going. When the path gets difficult, adjust your approach, but maintain your direction. When doubt creeps in, remember why you started. Persistence isn't glamorous. It doesn't make headlines. But it's the quiet force that ultimately shapes your destiny. How hungry are you to succeed? Your willingness to persist when others give up will provide the answer. Lesson 11. The courage to stand alone. There's a special kind of hunger that separates the achievers from the dreamers. It's the willingness to stand alone when necessary. Most people crave acceptance and will sacrifice their dreams on the altar of approval. But the truly successful understand that greatness often requires walking a lonely path. I've observed this pattern throughout history. Thomas Edison endured thousands of failures and was mocked by his contemporaries. The Wright brothers were dismissed as foolish dreamers. Henry Ford was told his ideas were impractical. Yet these men possessed an uncommon hunger that allowed them to persist despite isolation and criticism. You see, the average person lives within the comfortable confines of what others think possible. They seek constant validation and adjust their aims to match what society deems reasonable. But extraordinary success demands that you step beyond these boundaries into uncharted territory. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of a dense forest. The well-worn path leads one way, while your vision, your true destination, requires cutting through untamed wilderness. The crowd will urge you to stay on the common road. They'll warn you of dangers and predict your failure. This is where your hunger must be stronger than your fear. Consider the remarkable story of Mary Anderson. In 1903, she invented the windshield wiper after noticing how drivers struggled during rainstorms. Automotive experts ridiculed her invention, saying it would distract drivers and cause accidents. But Anderson's hunger for innovation was greater than her need for approval. Today, her once rejected idea is standard equipment on every vehicle. This courage to stand alone isn't arrogance. It's conviction. It's the quiet confidence that comes from thoroughly researching your idea, testing your concept, and believing in your vision even when no one else does. Your hunger for success must be powerful enough to sustain you through periods of doubt and loneliness. When you choose to pursue extraordinary success, you must prepare for extraordinary challenges. People may question your sanity. Family members might express concern. Friends could distance themselves. These reactions don't mean you're wrong. They often signal that you're breaking new ground. The hungry mind develops a remarkable ability to distinguish between constructive criticism and fear-based objections. Learn to welcome thoughtful feedback that improves your idea while filtering out voices that simply echo collective limitations. Your greatest ideas rarely receive immediate support. The more innovative your vision, the less it will be understood initially. This is not a reason to abandon your path, but rather confirmation that you're thinking beyond conventional boundaries. As you develop this courage to stand alone, you'll discover something unexpected. Your willingness to venture into uncharted territory eventually attracts others with similar hunger. Your conviction inspires those who secretly harbor similar dreams. What begins as a solitary journey often culminates in leadership. The hunger for success requires not just hard work and clear goals, but the emotional strength to trust your vision when you're the only one who sees it. This is the test that separates those who merely wish for success from those determined to achieve it at any cost. Lesson 12. Fire in your belly. The greatest force in human achievement isn't talent or education, it's hunger. That burning desire deep in your belly that drives you forward when others quit. I've observed this simple truth across thousands of success stories. The hungrier you are, the further you'll go. What do I mean by hunger? It's that inner drive that wakes you up early and keeps you working late. It's the voice inside that says, I must succeed rather than I hope I succeed. This hunger isn't physical, it's spiritual and emotional. It's the difference between the person who dabbles and the person who dedicates. Consider two children learning to play piano. One practices because their parents insist. The other practices because they dream of playing Carnegie Hall someday. The first child will progress slowly and eventually quit. The second will overcome every obstacle to reach their dream. The difference isn't talent. It's hunger. The most successful people I've met aren't necessarily the most brilliant or gifted. They're the hungriest. They're the hungriest. They want their goals with such intensity that nothing can stop them. Thomas Edison wasn't the smartest inventor, but his hunger drove him through 10,000 failed attempts to create the light bulb. Henry Ford wasn't the most educated man, but his hunger to build cars for everyday Americans pushed him past every setback. Here's something important. Hunger isn't something you're born with. It's something you develop. You nurture it by connecting deeply with your purpose. When your goal matters enough to you, hunger follows naturally. Hunger follows naturally. Think about a mother protecting her child. She'll find strength she never knew she had because her purpose demands it. How hungry are you right now? Be honest with yourself. On a scale of 1 to 10, how badly do you want to achieve your dreams? If your answer isn't at least an 8, you need to reconnect with your purpose or find a new goal that truly matters to you. The wonderful thing about hunger is that you can increase it. Start by getting crystal clear about what you want and why you want it. Visualize your goal vividly each day. Surround yourself with people who fuel your ambition rather than dampen it. Read biographies of people who accomplished great things despite obstacles. Comfort is the enemy of hunger. We grow hungry when we're uncomfortable with where we are. If you're too comfortable in your current situation, you'll never develop the drive needed for extraordinary achievement. Sometimes you need to make yourself uncomfortable intentionally. The world makes way for the person with hunger in their eyes. Opportunities open up, resources appear, helpers emerge. There's something magnetic about someone moving with purpose and passion that attracts exactly what they need. As we conclude our journey together, I ask you one final time, how hungry are you to succeed? Your answer to this question will determine the height of your achievements more than any other factor. Feed your hunger daily. Let it drive you toward your destiny. The fire in your belly will light your path to success.